Baby, there is a show on the Oprah Winfrey Network called Belle Collected, and if you are not watching it, you are missing out, okay? This is one of the, if not the best, black ensemble, female cast, female television show on right now. And we're about to break down what I would have to say is probably one of the nastiest old Southern Belle reads that I've heard in a long time, okay? And this is between cast member Latrice and Aikisha. Now, if you've been watching the show and you've been keeping up, you know that Aikisha recently quit the show while on Carlos King's Messy Monday YouTube live that he does. Carlos King produces the show. He was, having a little YouTube segment he was doing one Monday night. He had Aikisha come on. Aikisha said, thank you for my renewal letter. We've been renewed for season 6, but I will not be returning. Right? Now, Aikisha is giving a little bit of insight on why she's not returning to the show. She did a YouTube video with her husband, Willy, and they talked a little bit about their experience on the show, that finale that we watched where things got physical at Latrice Taste Bar and Grill opening that she had, her restaurant opening. They talked about why they quit the show. A lot of tea was spilled. Now, what they also talked about was Aikisha released the full text message that Latrice sent her. Now if you watch the reunion, you know that OWN showed us a text message that Latrice sent Aikisha, and it was a pretty nasty text message, but that wasn't the extent of it, baby. That wasn't the extent. Latrice read Miss Aikisha down. It was so bad, I kind of felt bad for Aikisha. I was like, damn, Latrice, did you have to do her like that? Y'all know what I'm saying? Listen, before we begin, please click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Press the thumbs up button and like this video. That helps us get in the algorithm, okay? Join the conversation and get in the comment section. I got to hear from you guys. If you're a Belle Collective fan, if you watch the show, what do you think about this? After you watch this video, let me know what you think about these text messages. And last but not least, if you want to help your boy out and donate to the channel, in the description box below will be ways that you can donate. Thank you guys for your love and support. I'm so humble and grateful and thankful for each and every one of you who watch my videos, like my videos, comment, even the haters. I love y'all. Thank you, because you're contributing, okay? So, I saw this video that Aikisha did. Her and her husband, Willy, have started a podcast, Aikisha Holly Colon. We know Aikisha came on season 2 of Belle Collective. As we're speaking of now, Aikisha, you know your name is not pronounced Colon. It's Aikisha Holly Colon. I've always thought, kind of like how Sheree on Atlanta Housewives, I'm always like, is your real name Cherie? And you added a little asterisk and said, call me Sheree. And Aikisha, is you and your husband's last name really Colon? And y'all said, call us Aikisha Holly Colon. I'm just saying. I've always thought that. Now, look. Aikisha and her husband, Willy, started a podcast called the F It Podcast. You can go find it on YouTube. And they, like I said earlier in this video, pretty much did a recap on the season, on the finale. What pretty much was their demise of the show, why they left the show, what made them finally say, we're done, right? Now, of course, we saw the brawl at the finale that involved Aikisha and her husband versus Latrice Rogers and her husband and Letitia Pearson and her husband, right? So we got Letitia and Latrice and their husbands over here versus Aikisha and Willy. We saw that play out, yada, yada, yada. Now, a lot of people think, and Aikisha claims this was that when they left this altercation, this is when they quit the show, right? This is when she was done. I don't necessarily believe that's when they were done, because that's reality TV. That's what happens. People get to scrapping, fighting, doing dumb shit, right? I think these text messages that we're about to talk about are why Aikisha really quit the show. Okay? Let's get into it, all right? So, Aikisha says that Latrice sent her a text message that said this. Okay? This is where it began, all right? Now we saw this also on the reunion. Y'all remember on the reunion, Latrice mentioned that she was upset with Aikisha because after the finale happened and that whole brawl took place at her restaurant, her nephew's phone somehow got lost in the mix, and production thought that the phone was Aikisha's niece because Aikisha had her niece there with her. Production thought that this phone was her niece's phone, so they hand the phone off to Aikisha's niece. Well, come to find out, the phone actually belongs to Latrice's cousin. So, Latrice sends this text message to Aikisha and says, quote, on Monday, June 10th, I have contacted you regarding my nephew's lost cell phone. Production advised that the phone was handed to your niece during my opening, during the commotion. It was also tracked via Find My iPhone to your address. I have requested that it be returned. I have since heard nothing from it in regard to retrieving it. Before things escalate, please let me know what's up. Now, it's important to note, I didn't include this in here, but before this screenshot, Latrice actually had reached out to, like she said in this message, she reached out to Aikisha weeks before this. And Aikisha did post a screenshot. I just don't think I have that one. So she did reach out to her weeks before saying, this is what happened. My nephew's phone is gone. I was told it was given to your niece. What's up? Now, according to Aikisha, Aikisha said, okay, let me call my niece and see if she has it, and I'll let you know what I find out. Aikisha says that she calls her niece. Y'all following me? Aikisha says that she calls her niece, and her niece tells her, oh, yeah, I got the phone, and because I thought it was yours. They handed me the phone. They told me it was yours. When I found out it wasn't your phone, I threw it out the window. Right? Because keep in mind, everybody just been fighting. Because I think some people are confused, like, well, why did the phone get thrown out the window? They talked about that on the reunion. Well, Aikisha says the niece did not return the phone. She threw it out the window because they had just fought these people. She's like, why would my niece return this phone when these people were literally just trying to fight me? Okay, so I was with her there. I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm buying what you're selling. So, when Aikisha found out that information that the niece had thrown the phone out, she didn't let Latrice know. She didn't call. She didn't follow up. She says she forgot. That's when Latrice sent this message here. She said, look, on June 10th, I contacted you, blah, 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 right? Now, when she said, before things escalate, let me know what's up. Now, that kind of triggered Aikisha, and I think it would anybody a little bit. Like, wait, is this a threat? But at the same time, you got to look at it from Latrice's side. She thinks, her nephew's phone, she's been told her nephew's phone has been given to this person. This person is not really responding. The phone was last tracked to that area. It kind of starts looking suspect, right? So I can see both sides. Now, this is what Aikisha said back. Now, after we read what Aikisha said, we're going to get into Latrice and her lethal, what I call a good old southern Mississippi mudcat read, okay? Listen, let's get into it. So she said, before things escalate, let me know what's up. Aikisha says, it looks like you were trying to make an issue with me out of a situation that I thought was with the young ladies from Pelahatchie. Pelahatchie is a small town in Mississippi, and Pelahatchie is where Letitia is from on the show. And Letitia apparently has a group of friends that doesn't like Aikisha, and Aikisha calls them the Pelahatchie posse. Okay, so let's continue. She says, it looks like you were trying to make an issue with me out of a situation that I thought was with the young ladies from Pelahatchie. When we were just on the phone, you said, this is broke bitch shit, and I better produce a phone that I do not physically have. This sounds like a threat to me, and now I am scared. Not Aikisha pulling the now I am scared. In Aikisha's YouTube video, the way she worked, the way when she explained this, she explained it like she was saying she was scared for like to have it as evidence. You know what I'm saying? Like to back up in case something happened. But I'm like, Aikisha, now you know you ain't scared of Latrice. Come on now. Um, Now it is important to note here in this text when Aikisha says, when we were just on the phone, you said this is broke bitch shit and I better produce a phone that I do not physically have. What Aikisha is referring to is she says when Latrice sent that text saying, let me know what's going on before things escalate, Aikisha said she called Latrice and said, hey, I'm sorry I haven't called you. I forgot to call you, but I called my niece and she told me that she threw the phone out the window. So I don't have the phone. Now, according to Aikisha, Latrice starts screaming, that's some broke bitch shit. That's some broke bitch shit. You better produce his motherfucking phone. And then she hung up on her. Right? That's what Aikisha said. Then Aikisha sent that message. Aikisha sends the message that says this sounds like a threat and now I am scared. Okay? I know I'm kind of telling the story a little, but hopefully that makes sense. All right? Y'all following me? Are y'all following me here? Aikisha called Latrice. She told Latrice, hey, I'm sorry I haven't followed up, but I found out that my niece threw the phone out. Latrice cussed her out, hung up the phone, and that's when Aikisha sent that message here. This sounds like a threat to me, and now I am scared. Now here comes the explosion from Latrice. Okay, let's get into this. What I said I like to call a good old Southern Mississippi mudcat read. Okay, this is what Latrice had to say. Let's get into it. Latrice said, girl, fuck you. Pelahatchie, Cancun, Mexico, New Mexico, and whatever other lie you're trying to concoct. Again, you came to my events, not only threatened, fought with 10 or more of your lower class family members, you tricked them there with lies. Remember that. Now, I was confused by that because they're saying that Aikisha had like a bunch of her family there that showed up and threatened the place and stole from them and all kind of shit. But according to Aikisha, Aikisha said that only her, Willy, and her niece showed up. So I don't understand where that discrepancy is coming from. She goes on to say, your family was recorded with fucking weapons that they snuck into my bar against rules. To ASSAULT patrons, another round of felonies for your entire family. Threatened? You're the vicious motherfucker. I have verification of you and your family's theft and ASSAULT on tape. The phone was over 1K. Another felony. Production also verified that you and your family accepted the phone under false pretense. Another felony. Tread lightly, you antique-faced dummy. You don't have enough bond money for all of your family, boo. Oh, it gets worse. Okay, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. She goes on to say, so now that I see what type of person you really are, the gloves can come off. You are trash. You and those drag queens you brought to my business grand opening to fight like gladiators. Who are the drag queens, Latrice? I'm like, who did Aikisha? I didn't go back and watch the episode. I'm like, who are the drag queens? But she says, you and those drag queens you brought to my business grand opening to fight like gladiators, but got beat to sleep in their attempt. It's trash. You are the lowest of the low. I tried not to descend to your level, but you've made that real hard. I asked your slow, useless, unaccomplished ass to simply give my nephew back his phone. You masculine looking wannabe bully and big dog ass bitch took his phone knowing that it wasn't your property. That's what bums do. I guess you feel like sucking an NFL dick umpteen years ago accounts for class or some form of prestige. Bitch, it does not. You lack in all those areas very poorly. What kind of gutter, throwback, unwanted ass human calls their family with lies like people were at a grand opening trying to jump on them? Who does that, bitch? Only manipulative trash like you. Ooh. Now, according to Latrice, it sounds like when this altercation went down, allegedly Aikisha or somebody in Aikisha's camp, the niece, I don't know, allegedly called up the family and said, hey, they trying to jump on Auntie Aikisha and Uncle Willie. And the Mississippi posse rolled the block. Because you know Jackson, Mississippi is a very small town, okay? So listen, it won't take 5 minutes for Pookie and them to bust the block and be where you gotta be. So, did Aikisha or her niece or Willie or someone call the goons to spin the block? And that's where this ASSAULT and the alleged theft and all that is coming into place. Because what I'm not understanding, and we're gonna continue reading this message, and you can see where I'm coming. You might see where I'm coming from here. Is I don't understand why Latrice had so much fire, hostility, and anger for Aikisha. I'm like, this can't just be over the phone. But no, it sounds like that it's more than just the phone. Because we also have to keep in mind, too, that this phone that she's trying to retrieve, her nephew's phone, her nephew is now deceased. Her nephew was passed. And that's why she was trying to retrieve his phone to get back, the memories, whatever the case may be. You want to get your loved one's phones back. So on top of the phone being allegedly stolen, allegedly they had people come up here to Latrice's restaurant and bar and fight and also allegedly steal. So that's why I think when I started reading it, I'm like, okay, maybe this is why she's really going in on this girl, because I couldn't really justify it at first. I'm like, damn, Latrice, you really going that hard on Aikisha over this phone situation? Because if you let Aikisha explain it, it kind of makes sense. Now, do I think throwing the phone out was right? No. But on the flip side, I can see where they're coming from. If I just fought somebody and I ended up with one of their phones, I'm not going to go back and return it and say, here you go, we just fought, but here's your phone. Fuck your phone. I'm throwing it at the window, right? Let's continue. She goes on to say, you had all those nappy, knotted head motherfuckers pulling up to my events late as fuck with weapons to fight. I can't stand hoes like you. Who lies to their family to get them riled up? Yo dumb discombobulated ass, that's who. You are useless to even your own family, bitch. If they had any sense, they wouldn't even fuck with your callous ass. People could have been unalived. For what? Your lies, bitch. You and your husband came to my shit on BS. You should have stayed home. Who would have missed you? You have zero substance, bitch. You know what? You should actually be a friend of a friend of a friend on the show. You're boring and fake as fuck. You came on the show with no identity, choosing sides and pledging allegiance to motherfuckers like a cliquish ass young hoe. Bitch, act your motherfucking age just like them wrinkles in your saggy ass face does. God damn, Latrice. Don't ever make Latrice Rogers mad. I will reiterate to you and all your hood rat, Tu Wong Fu looking ass family that came to my event with bullshit. The ones that stole my nephew's phone. We need it back ASAP. Now, I do understand that you have to wait on your aunt and ancestors to pass away in order to secure your bag, baby. But I know damn well that Willie saved at least a few $100s while he was running footballs up and down that field, running out of breath, bitch. Surely he does not. Excuse me. Surely he does not think for. Surely he does not think for one moment that bootleg, boring ass podcast will bring a dime to his already lint filled pockets. Not the lint filled pockets. Now, Latrice, that's what we're not going to do because Willie and them got money. Willie and Aikisha got some money, right? I mean, they had the home in Mississippi. They have a gorgeous home in New Jersey because the podcast that they had that I watched, they were filming in their home in New Jersey, and that was a gorgeous home. I think they got a little change, and he was in the league, um, and from what I know about the league, a lot of they got bread. A lot of them, if you played your cards right, if you're a former NFL player like Willie is, and like the guy I've told y'all about that I've dated, if you play your cards right, you can live off your money forever, right? It's these people that go out here and buy the cars, and that's what my friend told me. My friend that was in the NFL, it's like my teammates were buying the chains and the cars and the houses, and he's like, that's great and all. Like, of course, I got me a car and I got me a home and whatnot, but I didn't live above my means and just blow through my money. And that's what a lot of these football players do. And I don't think Willie was one of those. He seems like he was very smart and he invested his money. They've invested in this Bricks and Hops restaurant in New York, which, according to Latrice, has 20 million partners. We'll get into that further on in the text message. Actually, we're about to get into that now. She goes on to say, promise me that Willie knows that girl, like pinky swear. Then Willie, your husband, that one that's eating uncooked meat. That part kind of threw me off. I'm like, where did that come from? Willie eating uncooked meat? Is that something he does? Did he do that on the show? I don't know. Anyway, she says, then your husband started shit with my husband at our establishment, the one that we own all by ourselves. You motherfuckers bragging about a business that has 20 million partners? Girl, of course you're mad at us. So apparently, Bricks and Hops, which is Aikisha and Willie's bar in Queens, New York, either Queens or Brooklyn or the Bronx, one of those three boroughs in New York, they own this bar. Apparently, it's owned by 20 different partners. But hey, I'm not going to knock them for that accomplishment. I don't own stakes in any restaurant, so I'm not going to shade anybody that does. Um, so kudos to Latrice and Aikisha for both, having some kind of investment. She goes on to say, where are we at here? Because, baby, this was a novel. Latrice wrote a full novel. She goes on to say, where is this at? Shit. Okay. Girl, of course you're mad at us. Had you done more than try to secure his big show looking ass with babies and invested his money better, you'd both be further ahead. So she's accusing Aikisha of having children with Willie to secure the bag, or to secure, him, to secure a lifestyle, to secure financial security. But I didn't think he had money, Latrice. I didn't think he had no money. But I see what she's saying here. I think she's trying to say that Aikisha was a jersey chaser, like somebody who was intentionally trying to date an athlete for his money. But I don't really think that either. And listen, I'm not an Aikisha fan. I'm a Team Latrice fan, okay? But I don't think Aikisha was a jersey chaser. I think she's truly into Willie. And, um, that was one thing when I was dating an NFL player, the guy I was telling you guys about. That's one thing that was an insecurity of mine. I was like, people are going to always look at it and think that you're with somebody for their money or for what they were, what they did, and if you really care for them, it can be like, well, damn, that hurts. You know what I'm saying? So I think she really is. Now, if I thought she was Jersey chasing and she was with him for his money, y'all know I'd clock that T so quick, and I'd say it with a heartbeat. I wouldn't let it right off my tongue. But when I see them together, she seems like she loves him. Anyway, she goes on to say, he found the audacity to tell a grown-ass man to suck his dick in our bar with a room full of customers. Tactless like a motherfucker. He can squeeze his humongous ass right on out the closet behind that one. We all know what he really prefers anyway. White women and males, allegedly, right? Another accusation. We accusing Willie of being down low. We accusing Willie of being gay. Latrice, I love you. I'm on your team, but I don't believe that either. I don't believe Willie's down low. Now, a word on the curb is that there is a Belle Collective husband or husbands, whatever, that, like to dip his hand, his toe in the man pond. That's not my business to tell, okay? That's for another channel. She goes on to say, we all know what he prefers anyway. White women and males, allegedly, right? Being stuck with you, though, I can't blame him. At the end of the day, my nephew's phone pinged at your house. It holds valuable events and other precious moments. We want that phone back simply because it's his. Let your cracked out folks know that for me, please. She said, let your cracked out folks know that for me. Ask your nephew looking ass niece. Not the nephew looking ass niece. Ask your nephew looking ass niece how her head and back feel after being stepped on while trying to hold up for a wannabe ass whore filled with lies and drama as yourself. Fuck you, your husband, them, your miserable ass life, and your feelings, bitch. Be blessed. Smooches. Whew. I told y'all that was going to be that was a read right there. That right there is why Aikisha Holly Colon quit Belle Collective. And nobody will convince me different. I feel like, and it wouldn't have shocked me if Aikisha went to production with this text message and an ultimatum. Actually, we know that she did go to production with this text message because they showed the text message on the reunion. Remember? They showed parts of it. Aikisha said they chopped the text message up, which is why she wanted to show the whole thing. And I'm so glad she did show the whole thing because, baby, Own tried to edit it and make Latrice's text message not look as bad as what it was. But this text message right here, she went in. She went in, okay? Wow. Now, I also want to say this in defense of Latrice, okay? Because like I said, I've never been an Aikisha fan, honestly. The whole better than person, the whole, a lot of the girls have said that Aikisha and Willy come off like they're better than. I've got that vibe too. Not really from Willy, more so from Aikisha. Aikisha wonders why the girls really don't like her, but your first scene when you came to Letitia's brunch, you were talking about these plates are dirty. These, like, I get it if you had a dirty plate and you want to address that, but don't try to embarrass the host, the one that's doing this, in front of the cameras and everybody. You should have pulled her to the side and been like, look, sis, my plate's dirty. I don't want to make you look, I don't want to bash your business on camera or nothing, but can you give me another clean? Y'all could have found drama elsewhere than you picking apart the whole dirty plates thing. So that was like strike number one with me with Aikisha, to where it did show me this, where she thinks, this whole better than persona that she had. But even though I am Team Latrice, I did at first think that these text messages were a little like, whoa, because Aikisha didn't have the phone, right? Do I think Aikisha and Willy held on to Latrice's nephew's phone out of spite? No. I don't think they had the phone. I think what Aikisha said, the story that she told, made sense. Production handed the phone off to Aikisha's niece by accident because they thought it was Aikisha's phone. Aikisha's niece took the phone to Aikisha. She said, that phone's not mine. And the niece threw the phone out the window. Now, Latrice says that they accepted the phone under false pretenses, that they knew that this phone did not belong to Aikisha. What do you guys think? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all think that the niece accepted the phone under false pretenses? I mean, it is possible. You know, you just got into a fight. A phone gets lost. Somebody hands it to you. You find out that the phone is not yours and it belongs to one of the people that you just fought. Are you going to hand it back? No. Fuck that phone, right? So I think that's actually what happened. Whether it was under false pretenses or not, the phone got thrown out, which is why I think it was showing up near Aikisha's house. Probably got thrown out down her. Aikisha says that when her niece left, or before her niece got there, is when she threw the phone out. Or no, she got there. Aikisha realized that the phone wasn't hers. The niece left, and that's when she allegedly threw the phone out, which is why when you track the phone on Find My iPhone, it was on Aikisha's street. Aikisha says that the phone was not actually at her house, like Latrice claimed, that it was on at her neighbor's house on her street. Child, I don't know. But what we do know, in conclusion, is that Aikisha is not returning to the show. I would almost bet you $100 that she probably felt like she wasn't protected by the network. I think that when she turned these text messages over to production, she probably expected for Latrice to be either reprimanded or something happened, right? Because, listen, things can start to go a little too far. And I can see where Aikisha may be like, well, whoa. I don't know if I want to do this shit no more. This is starting to take like almost a violent turn, you know? And especially, I mean, but then again, Aikisha's being accused of having her family show up at Latrice's bar and grill, you know, spewing threats, allegedly stealing. Do we know that to be true? No, it's all alleged. But I don't know. Whose side are you on here? And with I wanted to say this too, in Latrice's defense, with her losing her nephew, I think she had a lot of raw emotion. You know, you're dealing with your nephew passing, and then on top of that, you're dealing with his phone allegedly being stolen. And it's like all these emotions and this anger and this sadness that she just unleashed on Aikisha. That's what I honestly feel like happened between these two. It seems like, I don't know if I say if it's a misunderstanding. I don't think it's a misunderstanding. I think if Latrice would have let Aikisha explain a little bit more, maybe she could have seen what had happened, and they could have went out there and maybe looked for the phone. But Latrice was so blinded by anger, frustration, and sadness from losing her nephew that she just wanted the phone back. I think she thought that Aikisha and them literally physically had the phone, and that it could just be a simple exchange and meetup. But Aikisha kept pleading in her video that I do not have this phone. I do not have her nephew's phone. Anyway, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next season now that Aikisha will not be returning to the show. Do I think that the show is going to go downhill because she's not returning? No. I think she brought something different to the show. She brought some spice in season 2, and she kind of refreshed it a little bit. But I think, you know, if she wants to go, let her. Her time has come, and her time is gone. We can bring in some fresh new Mississippi Belles. I wouldn't mind if, you know, maybe a couple of you new young girls I'm sure there are a lot of young, successful entrepreneurs and gorgeous black women in Mississippi who would possibly be willing to do this show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Listen, I need to get your opinion because I'm over here like, well, what's going on? What is happening down in the SIP, down in Mississippi? Whose side are you on? Are you team Latrice or are you team Aikisha? And it will be interesting to see what happens with Belle Collective next season now that Aikisha and So Gucci Sophia Shantae will not be returning. Because we do know that So Gucci and Aikisha have both announced they will not be returning to Belle Collective. So that leaves 5 cast members remaining. Will Antoinette Lyles return to the show? I don't know. Some people want that. Some people don't. I think that we should bring in 2 new girls. Call it a season, baby. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for reality TV recaps, hot topics, and so much more. Click the thumbs up button and like this video. That helps me get in the YouTube algorithm. Join the conversation. And if you want to donate, in the description box below will be some ways that you can donate. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Damien After Dark.